Guys, welcome back to another episode of the MFC Approach podcast. Super grateful for you being here. Maybe get my words out of my mouth today. We'll see. But really, really excited, guys, for the episode that we have lined up for you today. Our guest is somebody who I have become acquainted with through going to the gym. Imagine that, right? I think one thing that I pull from mine and Seth's kind of relationship is just how great the gym is for supporting, encouraging, and just being there for other people, even when you may not know them super well. But it's a community that I think everybody would benefit from being a part of. And so, Seth, really, really grateful, man, to have you on the podcast today and to hear more of your story and kind of dive into the details of that.
Luke, I appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be awesome. Thanks for having me on.
You bet, dude. You bet. Like I said, guys, I first met Seth. I mean, it's been maybe 6 months ago. I remember the first time I started going to Origin out in Bluffdale. I saw Seth with a First Form shirt on and his First Form backpack. And I instantly was just like, that's a dude that I know I can kind of lean on, rely on, trust in, just because I mean, any engagement or experience I've had with, First Form, Andy Frisella has been really positive for me. And so really grateful for guys like him. And then Seth, as a result, guys like you who really, just care, are genuine, and are looking to grow and progress in whatever way they can. So.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you recognize that right off the bat, just from seeing First Form, because I've been part of First Form for a little over 3 years now. I'm a Legionnaire at the company. They actually flew me out to their headquarters last year. So I got to go to their gyms. It's like the nicest gym you ever see. Cleanest place ever. But one thing that First Form always preaches is we're family. So we're trying to build a community of like-minded individuals that are trying to better their lives one day at a time. Yeah. And it's always easier to reach any destination if you're doing it with a group of people. So rather than trying to go out there and do this whole fitness journey transformation all on your own, if you're in a community aspect and you have others going through the same thing as you at the same time, your success rate is going to be a lot higher. Yeah. So they always say that First Form is family.
I love it, dude. I love it.
I always do my best to try to be approachable to people at the gym. If I see someone that's been killing it, I'll be like, yo, bro, you're crushing it today. Things like that. But like little things like that go a long way. People don't understand that. It's like everybody's so busy in their day-to-day. They got their tunnel vision on. They're just focusing on themselves. But it's like, if you can recognize them, they're like, wow, that was actually pretty cool,
Yeah. Well, dude, that's I mean, it wasn't one of the first experiences I've had with communicating with you, but not too long ago, I actually posted about this. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, you probably may have seen this, but I was just having one of those days, man. Like I was having a day where I was looking around the gym, comparing myself to everybody else that was there, thinking, I've got a long ways to go. I'm not as big. I'm not as strong. You know what I'm saying? Just playing the comparison game, dude. And it's not good for anybody ever. But it's funny because as you were walking out of the gym, it was kind of, you crossed my path and you just stopped for 2 seconds and you said, bro, you're killing it today. Like you're looking at me, like, you know what I say? It was just such a simple thing. It was like, bro, you're killing it. Keep it up. And it was funny because that turned my day around. Like, and it's just funny how such a simple thing can go such a long ways. And so again, man, it's like just the interactions I've had with you are so genuine, sincere, and encouraging. So I just appreciate you for that, dude.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad I was able to help turn your day around a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Always the little things too, so it's like, that's why it's like, everybody should start trying to be a little bit more friendly with people, smile at strangers, like just more than anything, like acknowledge their presence on this earth. That's what most people crave. They want to be acknowledged. They want to know that they're seen and they're heard.
Yeah. It's funny. Me and my wife were talking about this yesterday. She's a little less social than I am. And then yesterday she was like, I've been really trying harder to do that. Because she comes across as somebody who She says this herself, so I'm not saying anything that she would disapprove of, but she often says she has an RFB, the resting bee face,
Yep.
And so anyway, she's like, so yesterday I was trying to talk to everybody at the gym, and anyways, so it's good, man. It's just, yeah, I don't know what it is. I know there's people who are like to keep to themselves and other people who are just naturally more social, but it's like being in it alone, man, is never a good thing. Like it's really not. So anyways, didn't really plan on that kind of segment there, but still, man, just really good. And I think, again, just a good message for everybody to hear. So, well, guys, so Seth is a personal coach, online coach, online trainer. I don't know how you like to refer to yourself, Seth, and primarily work with men in their, remind me what age group it is.
Men over 30 usually.
Okay.
So yeah, typically between 30 and 50 is the average clientele that I work with, because I myself just turned 40 back in December. Cool. I didn't even take my health and fitness seriously till about 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. And here I am now at age 40. I'm in the best shape of my life that I've ever been in, like way better than even in my 20s. Yeah. And so I just try to show others that are around my same age that, hey, it's not too late. If you have the right plan in place and you have the right consistency, you also can follow the same path and get in the best shape of your life.
I love it, man. I love it. Super motivational, inspiring. So, yeah, has done this for a little bit now, but would encourage you guys again to go check out his social profile. I'll be sure to add that in the link so that you can do that and give him a follow. But yeah, guys, so Seth has a pretty awesome journey that he's been on over the last while, and I'm really excited for him to kind of share with all of us, what his journey has been, and how health, putting a priority on your health has been a positive impact for you, Seth. So if you want, man, I would love for you to take us back as far as you want in your life, and start from where makes the most sense to you. So
yeah, you got it. So for me, I think we could go back to probably like high school age days. That's when I really started noticing that I suffered from depression. I didn't necessarily know anything about it back then. I just noticed like there'd be days or weeks where I was just like really low energy, down, didn't want to do anything. And, as I started getting older, I realized like it was always something that would come and go. It wasn't like constant, but it was pretty frequent that I would have these feelings that I wouldn't like myself. I spoke negatively towards myself on a regular basis. And then once I got in my 20s, I found alcohol and I started drinking, thinking that would help with my depression, because when I would drink, I'm happy and I can't think of anything else, but the problem with that was every time I'd wake up the next day, I would be in a worse place than when I started. But because of addiction, you start thinking, well, you want to have that high all the time, because when you're drinking, everything's good, everything's okay. So instead of, taking the right proper steps to try to deal with the depression, I started drinking a lot. So it started off with just binge drinking on weekends with friends, and over time it turned into a daily occurrence. And I drank liquor. I wasn't a beer drinker, so Crown Royal was my drink of choice. I always still like took care of my responsibilities. I never missed work. So in my head, I was like, I'm doing fine. I'm still being a good dad, all of that. But I got to a certain point where not only the drinking, but the eating and the lifestyle as a whole, I was just in a really bad shape. And I knew that now that I'm getting older and my kids are getting older and they're starting to watch and notice, like when they were younger, it wasn't probably as big of a deal because they were just little kids. But as the kids started getting older, they start recognizing, okay, dad's not the same right now, so yeah, one big gut punch was my oldest son. A night after we were drinking with friends, he just told me, Dad, you're just not the same when you drink. And that was a really big gut punch for me and a wake up call. Like, okay, the kids are getting older. They're starting to notice. I was like, I need to be the strong father and leader and man as a good example for these boys as I possibly can. And right now I'm not doing that.
How old was he, Seth? And how many years ago was this?
This was probably 5 years ago. So he would have probably been 10.
Okay.
He's 15 now.
Gotcha.
Yeah. My boys are 13 and 15 now. So yeah, back when I first started my sobriety journey and I realized I really actually had a problem with it, they were 8 and 10. So I quit and I quit and I restarted several times. But what really helped me overcome it is the 75 Hard and Live Hard program that Andy Frisella created. I know you mentioned him a little bit earlier, but I thank that man so much for what he's done for me just by showing people the way. 75 Hard, for all of you that are not familiar with it, a lot of people think that it's just a fitness challenge, but it's actually a mental toughness program. So it's designed to help you transform your mindset into actually believing that you can overcome big challenges and you can do anything that life throws your way, you can overcome that. And by building the mental toughness through the program.
That's when I have an issue with 75 Hard, is when it's viewed as a physical thing.
Trending on TikTok right now is probably the 75 Hard challenge, that is like everybody's thinking it's literally just like a fitness transformation.
Yeah.
But Andy Frisella himself, he gets really mad when people call it a challenge. He's like, no, this is a program. He's like, it's meant to be followed a specific way if you want to get the correct outcome of it, which it really does work if you do the work. So for 75 Hard, one of the criteria is there's no alcohol. So I knew right away that just having to stick to that to conquer the program, that it would be good for me. Because back then I wasn't sure that I wanted to actually go all the way sober, but I knew I needed to at minimum reevaluate my relationship with alcohol and at least cut way back than what I had been doing. I didn't want to be a daily drinker again, for sure. So I finished the 75 Hard program the first time with my wife. She was my fiance back then. And what's crazy, this story is crazy because we went 75 days. We got at that point, the best shape of our lives. We were mental clarity. Everything was awesome. And we decided to go out and celebrate, because we did it. Awesome. And like life always, everybody's always like, you should celebrate everything. And what is celebrating in today's day and age in society in America? Go out and have drinks. And, so we hadn't had drinks in over 3 months. And we had, we went out and we drank that night and we woke up the next morning feeling like a truck ran me over, and I was like, why would I do that to myself after I did the complete opposite for the last 3 months? It's like counterintuitive, like they don't go together. So I definitely cut back on drinking a ton after that and wasn't drinking daily. But I would still drink occasionally on weekends with friends or if there was an event or something. But then over time, I didn't stay consistent. And I slowly started fading back to my old ways. I started eating unhealthy, eating fast food and candy and drinking a little bit more often. And then before I knew it, I was almost right back to my starting point. And looking at transformation pictures, I looked at like what I had done and then where I was at now. And I was like, wow, I completely undid all my progress.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was an eye opener there also. So then I decided, all right, I'm going to do 75 Hard again, except for this time, I'm going to actually commit to the full Live Hard year-long program. 75 Hard is just 75 days, but the Live Hard program has 3 phases after. So phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Phase 3 must be done 30 days leading up to the anniversary of the day that you started 75 hard the previous year. So it's a full 365 days. And I committed to that. And I think that is really what did it for me, because everything clicked. And I was like, I don't need alcohol. I was like, I used to think I needed it forever and I was dependent on it. But really, I get to make the decision and I don't need it anymore. And so now I actually just 2 weeks ago celebrated my 2-year sober anniversary.
Congrats, dude. That's so awesome. Makes me so happy to hear.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. And I like to share my story on Instagram a lot just to give others hope, because so many people are caught up with addiction right now and they think there's no way out and it's just over for them, Yeah. But there's nothing special about me. I'm just a regular guy. I just made a decision one day that I deserved better and my family deserved better from me. And then I got to work, and then I stayed consistent. And over the long haul, I've completely transformed my life 180 degrees.
I'm curious, Seth. I feel like oftentimes when I talk, like when I've had interactions with, recovering addicts or recovered addicts, I feel like oftentimes it's two kind of different personalities, right? So I'm just curious, like, to get your take on this. Like, do you feel like you were your true self prior to, like with the drinking and stuff? Do you feel like you were still pretty genuine to who you are, or do you feel
for the
like
most
it was
part,
a
I
mask?
was still a genuine person for
Okay.
sure. I think more than anything though, like, I was definitely more like outgoing and social when drinking. So now, that I don't drink, I'm still social. I'm still somewhat outgoing, but not nearly like I used to be. Like, I used to go out and try to talk to everybody,
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I'm cool with just hanging out with my friends and my wife, like, I don't need to go talk to everybody here.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I don't think it necessarily like changed my personality a lot, if that was the question you were asking.
So what do you feel like it did change then? Like, what, because obviously from what you just told us, it's not something you really want to go back to.
No, I never will. Like, mark my word, I'm never drinking again.
I love it, man. I love it. And so why, I guess, what is the transformation that you've noticed on yourself from drinking to not drinking? Like, what is the biggest change?
The mental side and
Okay.
the fact that I now love myself, and I didn't for my whole life. And
Crazy.
So I think I was trying to escape from my reality by drinking, but not realizing that really I just needed to take the right steps. I needed to start eating the right foods, putting the right nutrition in my body, drinking more water, moving my body daily, whether it's a workout at the gym or just taking a walk, just doing something to move your body, getting outside, getting sunlight, reading personal development books, listening to YouTube videos of motivational speakers, putting the right content in your brain for what you're trying to do with your life. So many people suffer from depression, and I know it's a real thing, but I also know that so many of them aren't giving themselves a fighting chance to overcome it. And if you can just really decide that you want better for yourself and figure out a plan of action, because it's going to take action and it's going to take work.
Yeah.
And then stay consistent with it. And you don't have to do anything crazy. Most people think that they have to just completely 180 flip their whole life, like right overnight. But the problem with that mindset is so many people try to do that, and then they get a month, 6 weeks in, and they're like, this is too much, can't do it. And then they just go right back to their old ways.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with a lot of areas in life. I mean, that's for a lot of people that are on just a fitness journey. They get really motivated and they crush it for a month, 6 weeks, and then they don't have the results. They don't have their dream body. So they're like, this is a waste of time. Not realizing it took your whole life to get to this point.
Yeah.
The changes you want to see will happen if you stay consistent, but they're not going to happen in 4 to 6 weeks.
Right.
Like, yes, you can make serious progress in 3 or 4 months, but realistically, for the average person to transform their body how they want, it's going to take at least a year of consistency.
Yeah, dude, that's one of the things that I feel like is really hard to, well, I think it's really important. It's not necessarily really hard, but it's really important to address, with somebody who is, reaching out, wanting to start a fitness or a health journey transformation. They have these ideas in their head that they want to lose a bunch of body fat in a really short period of time. And it's like, not that you can't do that, but one thing you need to realize is like, you probably aren't going to be where you envision yourself being in a short period of time. And then also, not taking into consideration, how long have you been living the lifestyle you are right now? Yeah. How long did it take you to get the physique you have now? Well, okay, let's just flip that on its head and be like, okay, if you really want to make a lasting, impactful change, it's going to take time. It's going to take years. It's going to take consistency and stuff. So, yeah, dude, I appreciate you bringing that up. I had another thought too that I wanted to ask you, but I think it was along the lines of depression, and you kind of brought it back up. Do you mind me asking how would you say your depression is today?
So I have it mostly under control, but I will still have a day every now and then where it just hits me and it slaps me in the face and I don't want to get out of bed, and when this used to happen to me, it would keep me down for weeks, sometimes months at a time. Mm-hmm. But through all the personal development work that I've done and everything that I've learned, I know how to pull myself out of it so much faster now. And it all starts with the words you're telling yourself inside your head. Negative self-talk it's so bad. And most people do it without even realizing it. But if you could take the words that you're saying to yourself inside your head and then say it to your 5 closest friends, you're probably not going to have 5 close friends anymore. So why would you speak to yourself in such a way that you wouldn't even talk to your friends that way? It's about changing the conversation that you have with yourself inside your head. So I notice the feelings. I notice the thoughts as they're coming in my head, because they still come in my head sometimes. I used to tell myself I was a worthless piece of shit. Like, that's what I said to myself, like hundreds of times every day. I'm just a worthless piece of shit, you know? But it's like, I'm repeatedly telling myself this lie, so I'm believing it, you know? So recognizing those negative thoughts as they come in your brain, because they're gonna, we're human, it happens to us, but recognizing it is the very first step. And then once you recognize it, understand this is not moving my life in the direction that I want. It's not serving me at all. Let's push it out and bring something else in. And you can always go back to gratitude to pull you out of a depressive state, because no matter how depressed you are, no matter how bad life's going right now, look at the small things in life, count your blessings, like understand, like, first off, you were born and you're human. There's a 1 in like 400 trillion chance that even happens. We all hit the lottery just by being born. Like, if you can even just connect your mind to that, you're like, wow, I already won, But then it's like, there's other things also that you have to tell yourself, and sometimes you have to make up a story that isn't quite true yet, but you want it to be true. So something that I do is it's called like positive affirmations, but I talk to myself like things are already happening. Like, I tell myself I'm a millionaire all the time, even though I'm not, but I will be one day. Yeah. But I am statements are really, really powerful. I'd recommend anybody to figure out what they want to do with their life and then write it out like it's already happened and then speak it to themselves. So that's something that I do. I don't know if I went off topic there a little bit.
No, you didn't. I mean, I was just thinking about the question I asked you, and I feel like you answered it really well. I mean, you still have those days where you feel depressed, you still have those moments where you feel a little bit down, and you basically just talked about all the things you do to pull yourself out of that.
Yes. Perfect.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Because like I said, it used to get me down for weeks to months at a time. And now when it happens, 1 day max, like 1 day max. And it's usually not even a whole day. It's usually like a few hours in a day. I'll let myself be like, all right, I'm not feeling good right now. But then like an hour or two later, I'm like, okay, I got to snap out of it. Like, I'm better than this. I'm meant for bigger things than this. I can get over it.
Yeah.
And then really big key though, like one thing that works for me, just go outside and take a walk.
Yeah.
No headphones, no anything, just you outside, breathing the fresh air, moving your body, take deep breaths. Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, and
I love it, man.
That's what I do.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think I just am thinking, dude, like in general, I mean, obviously I'm thinking about myself first and foremost, but then I'm also thinking just in general, men, women alike. It's like, I think we all, I don't want to overgeneralize the term depression, because I know that depression it's a real thing. Like, it really is and stuff. But I think bottom line is like, we all have those challenging moments. We all have those challenging days, whether we want to define it as depression or whether we've been diagnosed with depression, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all have those moments that I think everything you just talked about are so applicable, man. I seriously, I sit here and listen to you talk about some of the things you used to tell yourself, you know, and it's like, I do those things still, you know, like I do those things from time to time. And I'm just in the moment. I'm just like, man, that it's crazy because it's such a reality in my head. And then that goes on to affect, you know, my behaviors from that point on the rest of the day. And it's like, what you tell yourself is reality. Like, it really is. And so just, yeah, man, changing that mindset is such a critical piece. I'm curious, Seth, like, at what point did like the fitness side of things and the nutrition, like the healthy living side of things, really become like, you really notice like, hey, this is making a difference. This is going to be beneficial in helping me, you know, in my journey. Was it when you first did the 75 hard, or when
it was day one, 75 hard 4 years ago? It was I would mark that as the start of my fitness and health and mental health transformation.
Awesome.
I think it's March 8th, 2021
Cool.
was the day that I got started. And I had been pushing it off forever. Like, I knew about the program for over 8 months. I knew how great it worked for some people. I just wasn't ready to commit because I was like holding back. Like, I don't know what it was. I think I was scared probably. And I think another thought that I had was like, I wasn't worthy of becoming that man that I feel like I've always been meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
But through the journey, I have become the man that I've destined to be. And it's because of nutrition and health and positive mindset work on a daily basis. Because still to this day, like, I track my macros every day, but there's still days where we'll have a cheat meal and, you know, we'll go get some Five Guys or something like that. I mean, come on, Five Guys is delicious.
It's amazing.
Yeah. But, you know, after you eat it, you're just kind of like, I feel that, you know.
Yeah.
The nutrition, really getting my nutrition dialed in. And for everybody listening, you have to understand, like, nutrition is such a big part of the puzzle. Everybody is obsessed with the number they see on the scale when they stand on it and they don't like it, but they can't take 5 minutes to put their food on the smaller little food scale to make sure they're eating the correct portion size that's going to go towards whatever goal they're working towards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So eating higher quality foods, and then, you know, figuring out your macros, your proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, and then figuring out what goal you're working towards, whether you're trying to lean out or bulk up, you know, and getting dialed in with that, and then staying consistent with that. When you eat a higher quality of food, like, you feel better. Yeah. For sure.
Absolutely, man.
Obviously, working out, I don't care who you are, you can't go crush a killer workout and then not be like feeling good afterwards.
It's true.
Something about it. And there's actually been studies done too that like physical activity and working out, it triggers, I don't know the exact words, but it triggers something in your brain that like helps cure depression. You know what I mean? Like it helps you feel good about yourself. I don't know if it's a dopamine receptor or
it is. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Yep. But I mean, just physical activity and moving your body and it's going to help with your mindset for sure. So like for me, I love working out, but there's also days that I go to the gym because I need to for my mindset. You know what I mean? And for my discipline. And I do it. There's definitely days that I don't want to go, but I know that I already promised myself I was going to do it. And if I don't, when I'm laying in bed later tonight, I'm going to be like, bro, you blew it. You know? Yep. So the discipline that comes with staying consistent helps you build that mental toughness, and it helps your mindset, and then you feel like you can do anything.
Yeah, I do. I love it, man. I love it. It all just ties together so well. That's one thing that as I continue to learn and grow and develop, you know, like not only my personal like fitness and health journey, but also just like knowledge around all of this. It's like, dude, everything is tied together. Everything is tied together from, you know, the workouts you do to the food you put in your body to the amount of steps you take a day to, I mean, everything, like the quality of sleep you're getting to the stress management, like it all directly is tied to each other and affects each other. And so, you know, I actually just recorded another podcast right before this with my coach. Awesome. And we talked about just like the 5 pillars that he uses to really help people, you know, prioritize and focus on the right things when it comes to a transformation journey, because it's so easy for us just to be like, I'm going to go to the gym. And that's a great thing. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that's a great thing. But I feel like when people think, you know, I'm going to transform my life, like I'm going to transform my body, it's like, that's all they think about. And it becomes about, you know, burning as many calories as they can versus, you know, maybe building as much muscle as they can and like doing a quality workout. You know, like I feel like oftentimes you go to the gym and walk on the treadmill for an hour and then you do that 5 days a week for less than a month and you want to quit. And it's like, of course you want to quit. That sucks. Nobody wants to do that. You're not seeing anything really super beneficial or positive from that. So anyways, man, it is though, man. It's all just so tied together. And I love the fact that you were able to recognize that so early on in like your recovery, that, you know, fitness, nutrition, all of these things are going to play a role in you overcoming, you know, the depression that you experienced, the alcoholism that you had and stuff. And so anyways, man, I appreciate you sharing it. Is there anything else you want to add to any of that?
More than anything, I just want to let all the listeners know that no matter where they're at right now in their life, they can improve the quality of their life. It's going to be hard work, but it doesn't have to be hard every day. And you don't have to overcomplicate it. If you want to just boil it down to keep it simple, it's like eat higher quality foods, make sure that you're eating enough protein. 1 gram of protein per gram of goal body weight is a good rule of thumb to go by.
Yep.
Most people are significantly under eating protein and over eating carbohydrates and fats. But if we just switch that around and eat more protein and less of the other two, or at least a balanced amount of the other two, you know, that's going to help you. So staying consistent with your eating, moving your body. Number 2, like move your body every day, whether it's going to the gym or just taking a walk. Walking is super underrated, but I truly believe that it is one of the best things you can do if you're on a weight loss transformation, or, you know, it's even just good for your mental clarity. Like I was telling you earlier, like when I was feeling down, I just went on a walk. That really helps me. Another thing that you should prioritize is drink some water. Like put the soda down, bro, or your energy drink. Like you can still have those too, but like you should be drinking at least 100 ounces of water a day.
Yeah.
Our human body is like 68% water, or maybe not that exact percent, but somewhere around there.
A lot of water.
Water is so important. And then also it can help crave your appetite. A lot of times when you think you're hungry, chug a big tall glass of water, wait 10 minutes, and you're probably going to be okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just really keeping it simple, like break it down to simple things like that and stay consistent with it. And then as you get consistent with that, then you start adding more on the plate and trying to up your game a little bit, push harder in your workouts, maybe sign up with a coach like me or you, and get dialed in with everything. But if the average person just wants to start doing better for themselves, if they really just break it down to those simple things, move your body every day, eat higher quality foods with protein, drink your water, and then also regulate the content that you're watching and what you're putting into your brain on a daily basis. Because so many people are just mindlessly scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, and who knows what's going to pop up and go into your brain. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying not to do that, because I'm guilty of it. I still do that myself also. But at the same time, I try to, read personal development books or listen to like motivational type speeches on YouTube, things like that. I'm always listening when I'm in my car. I'm always listening to podcasts that's going to be like educational or beneficial to my life. But because I understand like what I'm listening to on a daily basis is going to really determine my mindset for the day, really. So, and everybody out there, you can transform your life. You have to believe in yourself, but sometimes the work comes before the belief, which means start putting in the work today so that by next month, you're like, all right, I believe in myself.
I love it, man. I love it. I think that's a great place to kind of wrap this up, Seth. I really do appreciate you, man, being here. I appreciate just you being so vulnerable and open, sharing your experience with others. I truly, man, I just think that's where we can help the most. We can help each other out by just sharing our experiences and growing together.
I have a goal in life to help transform 1 million people through fitness and nutrition. That's one of the reasons why I try to put out such valuable content on my Instagram page. It's just at Seth Golie. I'm trying to just put out valuable information that the average person can come to my page and watch my videos and learn something for free. So, that's workouts, that's nutrition, that's mindset, like all those things like that. And obviously I want to grow my team and work with people more one-on-one, but I understand that there's a bigger reach if you can just help people for free. So I like to do both. And yeah, I just can't wait to keep changing people's lives. I love it.
I love it, man. Thanks again, Seth, so much, guys. Thanks for listening to this episode of the MFC Approach podcast. As always, if you found it valuable, if you found it beneficial, please share this episode with somebody who you think would benefit from it. Also, give it a like, give it a follow, and give it a review if you wouldn't mind. So thank you so much, Seth. Thanks again, bro. Guys, until next time, we will talk to you later.
All right. Have a great day.
See ya.